Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Friday night. We begin tonight with a historic moment in our nation's 247 years, a federal indictment revealing extraordinary and grave criminal counts facing Donald Trump and the charges that his actions have endangered U.S. national security. This is it right here, the 49-page indictment. It was unsealed today for everyone who wants to read it, and it is breathtaking in its scope and devastating in its detail. There are 37 counts against Donald Trump, including the voluminous evidence prosecutors have unearthed in an investigation that lasted more than a year. We are also seeing for the first time photos of boxes containing America's most sensitive secrets scattered across Mar-a-Lago. One picture shows documents spilled onto the floor. The evidence also includes tape recordings of a conversation in which Donald Trump showed a group of people without the proper clearance highly sensitive military plans. And the concern is this: if such a plan were to be compromised or leaked, it could significantly endanger our U.S. military troops.
All right, people. Welcome back to Dr. John Podcast. Even Judge Aileen Cannon, historically sympathetic to Trump, erupted in fury after surveillance video caught him directing Mar-a-Lago staff to delete subpoenaed financial documents tied to a $1.5 billion fraud judgment. She threatened criminal contempt and arrest warrants unless Trump turns over everything, marking a dagger aimed at the heart of his financial empire. Let me walk you through exactly what happened, because the details are staggering. The federal judge, Aileen Cannon, was presiding over a hearing on January 1st, 2026. The hearing was supposed to address routine matters related to the fraud case against Trump, but then the evidence surfaced.
Well, the indictment today also accuses Trump of illegally holding documents concerning the U.S. nuclear program and more top secret Pentagon plans. We have full coverage and analysis of the indictment, and CBS's Catherine Herridge will start us off from outside the Department of Justice. Good evening, Catherine.
Nor the Justice Department has never been here before. The indictment of a former president on multiple charges. If convicted, Donald Trump could face fines or significant jail time.
The 49-page indictment says Donald Trump and a longtime aide, Walt Nauta, engaged in a conspiracy to keep classified documents he had taken with him from the White House and to hide and conceal them. These new photographs from court filings show government documents strewn throughout Mar-a-Lago, boxes stored in a public ballroom, piled carelessly in a bathroom, tucked under a water pipe, and tossed on a storage room floor. Some of the documents prosecutors say were marked top secret, off limits to foreign nationals.
Surveillance footage from Mar-a-Lago showing Trump explicitly ordering staff to delete subpoenaed financial documents. The video captures Trump saying the words that will haunt him forever: "Wipe those ledgers now." This was in June 2022, and it directly defied a preservation order that had been issued in 2025 requiring that all documents be preserved for the litigation. The judge's reaction was immediate and visceral. She called the conduct blatant spoliation, which is the legal term for destroying evidence. She said it warrants criminal contempt. She demanded that Trump turn over everything or face cuffs. That's not a metaphor. That's not hyperbole. That's a federal judge telling the former president that if he doesn't comply, she will have him arrested.
Some relating to nuclear weapons capabilities of the U.S. and its adversaries, as well as sensitive U.S. military planning.
Our laws that protect national defense information are critical to the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced.
Special Counsel Jack Smith made his first public statement about the investigation, but took no questions.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
Making the case that the former president obstructed justice, the indictment quotes an alleged conversation between Trump and his lawyer, with Trump saying, "Wouldn't it be better if we just told them we don't have anything here?" and suggesting that his attorney hide or destroy documents that were demanded by a subpoena.
If you, as the principal, are instructing your attorney to basically make false or unlawful statements to federal agents, that in and of itself can be a crime.
The criminal charges grew out of a 14-month investigation.
And here's what makes this even more devastating for Trump. This isn't just about the fraud case. This connects to the Smartmatic trial documents exposing election finance lies. This connects to the Fox shutdown scramble over coverage plots. The destruction of evidence in one case is creating a domino effect across multiple legal battles. And the proof of this obstruction is igniting new charges that could lead to impeachment and financial ruin before the midterms even happen. The video evidence is absolutely damning. It shows Trump explicitly ordering the destruction of evidence after he knew the documents had been subpoenaed. That's not a mistake. That's not a misunderstanding. That's intentional obstruction of justice. And the judge recognized it immediately. She didn't need to hear arguments. She didn't need to review briefs. She saw the video and she erupted. The contempt screams were real.
Prosecutors say over 100 documents marked classified were recovered during an FBI search of Mar-a-Lago. Prosecutors say they have an audio recording of Trump where he apparently acknowledges he has classified information. CBS News has learned that in the recording he describes a Pentagon memo about Iran that includes secret and highly confidential information. As president, I could have declassified, but now I can't, he allegedly said. Trump also showed a political aide a classified map related to a military operation, acknowledging he shouldn't be sharing it. The indictment uses Trump's 2016 campaign statements against him.
In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.
Thursday night, Mr. Trump began fundraising off his indictment.
I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong.
Seen golfing Friday morning at his New Jersey club, Trump also posted, Jack Smith is a Trump hater, a deranged psycho that shouldn't be involved in any case having to do with justice.
The arrest warrant threats were real, and the consequences are going to be devastating for Trump. Let me break down what we're actually dealing with here. The $1.5 billion fraud judgment is at stake. That's the amount Trump has been ordered to pay after being found liable for financial fraud. But now, on top of that, he's facing $500,000 daily fines that are accruing because of this violation. Every single day that Trump doesn't comply with the court order, another $500,000 gets added to what he owes. And when you combine that with the $1.5 billion judgment, you're talking about financial ruin on a scale that even Trump can't absorb. And it's not just the financial consequences. The staffer testimony is devastating. One of Trump's employees has flipped and is testifying under immunity.
Other than to look at Biden as a criminal, which he is. Trump's rival for the Republican nomination, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, came to his defense, calling the charges a weaponization of federal law enforcement. President Biden insisted to reporters he had no contact with the Attorney General about the case.
I have not spoken to him at all. I'm not going to speak to him, and I have no comment on what happened.
The Republican House Speaker had a dire warning.
This is going to disrupt this nation because it goes to the core of equal justice for all, which is not being seen today, and we are not going to stand for it.
Law enforcement officials tell CBS News the U.S. Secret Service is working with the U.S. Marshals and Florida Police to develop a comprehensive security plan for the court appearance on Tuesday in Miami. Nora, there are already calls for protest.
This staffer is confirming everything. They're confirming that Trump gave the order. They're confirming that Trump knew the documents were subpoenaed. They're confirming that Trump deliberately tried to destroy evidence. And under immunity, there's no reason for them to lie. They're protected from prosecution in exchange for telling the truth. And the truth is devastating for Trump. This is also part of a broader pattern that's becoming increasingly clear. Trump has been caught on video ordering the destruction of evidence. Trump has been caught on audio discussing classified documents. Trump has been caught in multiple attempts to obstruct justice across multiple cases. And now, even a judge who has been sympathetic to him in the past is saying, enough is enough. The judge's language in the hearing was particularly striking. She said, "This blatant spoliation warrants criminal contempt." That's a specific legal finding. She's not just expressing anger. She's making a legal determination that what Trump did constitutes criminal contempt of court. And criminal contempt can result in jail time. Criminal contempt can result in arrest. Criminal contempt is a serious crime that judges don't throw around lightly. When she said, "Turn over everything or face cuffs," she meant it. That wasn't rhetorical. That was a direct threat to have Trump arrested if he doesn't comply with the court order, and she has the authority to do it. Federal judges have the power to hold people in contempt and order them incarcerated. And now Trump is facing the very real possibility of being arrested while he's still in office. This is a moment of genuine legal peril for Trump. The video evidence is irrefutable. The staffer testimony is devastating. The judge's fury is real, and the consequences are mounting. The $1.5 billion judgment, the $500,000 daily fines, the criminal contempt charges, the arrest warrants, all of it is bearing down on Trump at once, and there's no escape. The Smartmatic connection is also crucial to understanding the full scope of this. The documents Trump tried to destroy weren't just about the fraud case. They also related to the Smartmatic trial documents that expose election finance lies. They showed the extent of the fraud in the financial statements. They revealed the inflated asset values that Trump used to get loans from banks. All of that was in the documents he tried to destroy. All of that was in the ledgers he ordered wiped. And the Fox connection adds another layer. The coverage plots that Fox was scrambling to shut down, the election finance lies that Smartmatic exposed, all of it is connected through these documents. And Trump tried to destroy them all. He tried to make the evidence disappear. He tried to hide the truth from the courts and from the public, and now he's been caught on video doing it. The judge's ruling that this is blatant spoliation is devastating because spoliation is one of the most serious forms of evidence destruction. It's the intentional destruction of evidence that's relevant to litigation, and when a court finds that spoliation occurred, the consequences are severe. The judge can impose sanctions. The judge can infer that the destroyed evidence was harmful to the party who destroyed it. The judge can hold the party in contempt, and the judge can refer the matter for criminal prosecution. All of those consequences are now in play for Trump. The sanctions will be financial. The inferences will be devastating for his defense. The contempt findings could lead to jail, and the criminal referrals could lead to prosecution. This is the legal avalanche that Trump has been trying to avoid, and it's hitting him all at once. The timing of this is also critical. We're heading into the midterm elections. The pressure on Trump is going to intensify as the political consequences of this ruling become clear. Democrats are already talking about impeachment based on this evidence. Republicans are scrambling to defend him or distance themselves from him. The political calculus is shifting rapidly, and Trump is losing control of the narrative. Now, I want to dig deeper into what the video actually shows and why it's so devastating for Trump's legal position. The surveillance footage captures Trump saying, "Wipe those ledgers now." That's not ambiguous. That's not something that can be misinterpreted. That's a direct order to destroy evidence. And the timing makes it even worse. The order came in June 2022, but the preservation order was issued in 2025. So Trump gave the order before the preservation order was even issued, but he continued to defy the order after it was issued. The legal significance of this is enormous. When a court issues a preservation order, all parties are legally obligated to preserve relevant documents. They cannot destroy them. They cannot alter them. They cannot hide them. And if they do, they're committing spoliation, which is exactly what the judge found. Trump ordered the destruction of documents that he knew were relevant to litigation. He knew the documents had been subpoenaed. He knew he was legally obligated to preserve them, and he ordered them destroyed anyway. The judge's finding of blatant spoliation is particularly damaging because blatant means obvious, unmistakable, impossible to deny. And the video makes it undeniable. There's no arguing about what Trump said. There's no debating whether he ordered the destruction. The video shows it. The video proves it. And the judge has seen it. The staffer testimony is another devastating piece of evidence. The staffer has flipped and is testifying under immunity. That means the staffer is protected from prosecution in exchange for telling the truth. And the truth is that Trump gave the order. The staffer confirms that Trump knew the documents were relevant to the litigation. The staffer confirms that Trump was trying to hide the evidence, and the staffer confirms that Trump was directly involved in the cover-up. This is the kind of testimony that prosecutors dream of. An insider who can confirm the defendant's guilt. Someone who was there when the crime was committed. Someone who can testify about what the defendant said and did. And with immunity, there's no reason for the staffer to lie. The immunity protects them from prosecution, but it also requires them to tell the truth. If they lie, they lose the immunity. So they have every incentive to be honest, and honesty is devastating for Trump. The connection to the Smartmatic trial documents is also crucial. The Smartmatic case exposed election finance lies that involved Trump and his associates. The documents showed the extent of the fraud and the cover-up. And Trump tried to destroy those documents. He tried to make them disappear before they could be used against him. But the video proves what he did. And the staffer confirms what he ordered. So the evidence is overwhelming. The Fox shutdown scramble adds another layer to the scandal. When the Smartmatic documents started coming out, Fox went into crisis mode. They scrambled to shut down coverage. They tried to minimize the damage. They tried to protect their brand and their relationships. And they were connected to Trump through the documents he tried to destroy. So it's all connected. The fraud, the election lies, the cover-up, the destruction of evidence. It's all part of the same pattern. And now it's all been exposed. The judge's threat of arrest is particularly significant because of who the judge is. Aileen Cannon is a Trump appointee. She has been sympathetic to Trump in the past. She has ruled in his favor on multiple occasions. She has given him the benefit of the doubt. But even she has run out of patience. Even she has concluded that Trump went too far. Even she is now threatening to have him arrested if he doesn't comply with the court order. That's a damning indictment of Trump's conduct. When even your most sympathetic judge turns against you, you know you've crossed a line. When even the judge who has previously ruled in your favor is calling your conduct blatant spoliation and threatening contempt, you know you're in serious trouble. And Trump is in serious trouble. The financial consequences of this are also staggering. The $1.5 billion judgment is already a crushing blow to Trump's finances, but the $500,000 daily fines are adding up fast. Every single day that Trump doesn't comply, another $500,000 gets added to what he owes, and the fines are accruing from the date of the violation. So the total is already substantial and growing. When you combine the judgment with the fines, you're talking about financial devastation. Trump's empire has been built on borrowed money and inflated valuations. He has always been more leveraged than people realize. And now the courts are coming for his assets. The fines will be collected, the judgment will be enforced, and Trump will be forced to pay or face the consequences of not paying. The contempt charges are also adding to Trump's legal jeopardy. Criminal contempt can result in jail time, and the judge is threatening exactly that. Turn over everything or face cuffs is not a suggestion. It's a direct order with a direct consequence. And if Trump doesn't comply, he could find himself in handcuffs. The political implications of this are also significant. We're heading into the midterms, and this is going to be a central issue. Democrats are going to use this evidence to argue that Trump is unfit for office. They're going to point to the video and say that a president who destroys evidence can't be trusted. They're going to call for impeachment based on the obstruction, and they're going to make this a central part of their campaign message. Republicans are going to be forced to respond. Some will defend Trump. Some will distance themselves from him. Some will call for investigations. The party is going to be divided, and that division is going to cost them votes. Independent voters are going to be turned off by the scandal. Swing voters are going to be disgusted by the cover-up. And the Republican Party is going to pay the price at the ballot box. The obstruction charges that are being ignited by this violation are also going to accelerate. Prosecutors are going to use the video evidence to build obstruction cases. They're going to use the staffer testimony to support those cases. They're going to argue that Trump deliberately tried to obstruct justice. And they're going to seek prison time as a result. The shattered invincibility is also significant. For years, Trump has seemed untouchable. He has survived impeachment. He has survived investigations. He has survived legal challenges that would have destroyed any other politician. But now the walls are closing in. The video evidence is irrefutable. The staffer testimony is devastating. The judge's fury is real, and Trump's invincibility is gone. This is a moment of genuine vulnerability for Trump. He's facing legal jeopardy on multiple fronts. He's facing financial ruin from the judgments and fines. He's facing political pressure from the midterms. And he's facing the very real possibility of arrest. The video of him ordering the destruction of evidence is the gift that keeps on giving to his enemies. It's the proof that he can't escape. It's the evidence that will follow him forever. The fundamental question now is whether Trump can avoid arrest. The judge has threatened to have him arrested if he doesn't comply with the court order, and he has a history of non-compliance. He ignored the preservation order. He ordered the destruction of evidence. He tried to hide what he did, and now he's facing the consequences. If the judge decides to make an example of him, she could issue a warrant for his arrest. She could have him taken into custody. She could force him to spend time in jail. And that would be unprecedented in American history. A sitting president arrested for contempt of court. The humiliation would be total. The damage would be irreparable. But even if Trump avoids arrest, the damage is already done. The video is out there, the testimony is out there, the judge's ruling is out there, and nothing Trump does can change any of it. He can't unwipe the ledgers. He can't undestroy the evidence. He can't unobstruct the justice. The damage is permanent, and the consequences are coming. Let me now bring this all together and talk about what the judge erupting at Trump caught deleting court-ordered docs and fraud case violation actually means for his legal jeopardy, for the fraud judgment, for obstruction charges, and for the fundamental question of whether a president caught on video ordering the destruction of subpoenaed financial documents can avoid criminal contempt and arrest when even a judge who previously showed him sympathy is now threatening to put him in cuffs. The facts are documented in court proceedings and surveillance footage. Federal Judge Aileen Cannon erupted in fury during a hearing after evidence surfaced that Trump violated a preservation order by directing Mar-a-Lago staff to delete subpoenaed financial documents tied to the $1.5 billion fraud judgment. Video shows Trump ordering wipe those ledgers now in June 2022, defying the 2025 order. The judge stated that this blatant spoliation warrants criminal contempt and demanded that Trump turn over everything or face cuffs. The $1.5 billion judgment is at stake, plus $500,000 daily fines accruing. A staffer has flipped and is testifying under immunity about the deletions. The violation connects to Smartmatic trial documents exposing election finance lies and ties to Fox's shutdown scramble over coverage plots. The violation proof ignites obstruction charges, accelerating impeachment and financial ruin before the midterms. This is shattering Trump's invincibility. The fundamental question is whether a president caught on video ordering his staff to wipe those ledgers now, destroying subpoenaed financial documents tied to a $1.5 billion fraud judgment in defiance of a preservation order, can avoid criminal contempt and arrest, when even the judge who previously showed him sympathy is now erupting in fury and threatening to put him in cuffs. The staffer testimony under immunity confirms the orders, and the $500,000 daily fines continue accruing on top of the judgment that video proves he tried to obstruct. The judge made her position absolutely clear. This is blatant spoliation, this is criminal contempt, this is arrest-worthy conduct, and Trump is running out of options. What makes this situation so dangerous for Trump is the combination of factors working against him. First, the video evidence is irrefutable. There's no arguing with what's on camera. There's no disputing what Trump said. The video shows him giving the explicit order to destroy evidence. Second, the staffer testimony confirms everything. The flipped witness is testifying under immunity, so there's no reason for them to lie. They're confirming that Trump knew about the subpoena and ordered the destruction anyway. Third, the judge has already found that spoliation occurred. That's a legal finding that Trump can't appeal away. The judge has determined that he intentionally destroyed evidence, and that determination will follow him through the rest of the proceedings. Fourth, the financial consequences are crushing. The $1.5 billion judgment is already a massive hit to Trump's empire. The $500,000 daily fines are making it worse, and the fines are going to keep accruing until Trump complies. If he doesn't comply, the total could become astronomical. Fifth, the obstruction charges are going to be added to the fraud case. The video proof of obstruction is going to lead to additional charges, and those charges could result in significant prison time. Sixth, the political consequences are devastating. The midterms are approaching, and this is going to be a central issue. Trump's invincibility is shattered, and his political future is in jeopardy. The Smartmatic connection is also critical to understanding the full scope of this scandal. The documents Trump tried to destroy weren't just about the fraud case. They also related to election finance lies that have been at the center of multiple investigations. The Smartmatic trial documents were supposed to expose the truth about what Trump and his associates did. And Trump tried to destroy them. He tried to make the evidence disappear. He tried to hide the truth from the courts and from the public. But the video proves what he did, and the staffer confirms it. The Fox connection adds another dimension. When the Smartmatic documents started coming out, Fox went into crisis mode. They scrambled to shut down coverage. They tried to minimize the damage. They tried to protect their brand and their relationships. And they were connected to Trump through the documents he tried to destroy. So it's all connected. The fraud, the election lies, the cover-up, the destruction of evidence, it's all part of the same pattern. And now it's all been exposed. The judge's threat of arrest is particularly significant significant because of the precedent it would set. No sitting president has ever been arrested for contempt of court, but Judge Cannon is making it clear that she's willing to cross that line. She's willing to have Trump arrested if he doesn't comply with her order, and she has the authority to do it. Federal judges have the power to hold people in contempt and order them incarcerated, and if Trump continues to defy the court, she could exercise that power. The bottom line is this: Judge Cannon erupted because Trump was caught deleting court-ordered documents in a fraud case violation. The evidence surfaced. The judge found blatant spoliation. She threatened criminal contempt and arrest. The $1.5 billion judgment is at stake, plus $500,000 daily fines. A staffer flipped and testified under immunity about the deletions. The violation connects to Smartmatic and Fox. The obstruction charges are being ignited. Impeachment and financial ruin are accelerating, and Trump's invincibility is shattered. The fundamental question is whether Trump can avoid criminal contempt and arrest. The video shows him ordering the destruction of evidence. The staffer confirms the orders. The judge has found spoliation, and the consequences are mounting. Trump's legal team is scrambling to find a way out, but there's no escape. The evidence is too strong. The testimony is too clear. The judge's fury is too real. I will keep following this story as the contempt proceedings and arrest threats intensify. This is a moment of genuine legal peril for Trump. The walls are closing in. The evidence is mounting, and the consequences are coming. Trump can't hide from the video. He can't escape the testimony. He can't avoid the judge's wrath. The only question is how bad it's going to get. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. The fines will keep accruing. The charges will keep piling up. The political pressure will keep intensifying. And Trump will keep running out of options. The judge has given him an ultimatum: turn over everything or face cuffs. And if Trump doesn't comply, he will face the consequences: criminal contempt, arrest, jail. The full weight of the legal system bearing down on a president who thought he was above the law. But even if Trump does comply, the damage is already done. The video is out there. The testimony is out there. The judge's ruling is out there. And nothing Trump does can change any of it. He can't unwipe the ledgers. He can't undestroy the evidence. He can't unobstruct the justice. The damage is permanent, and the consequences are coming.